fake AI songs being uploaded under real bands' profiles. Why is this so easy? And why are there no safeguards in place?
You guys are getting kicked out of your distributor accounts. These distributors are taking your royalties. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, you have someone who really does come along and is laundering money. Hey fam, welcome back. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle, and as you know, I like to talk about all things AI, copyright, how does it impact you and your music career. So TankTheTech YouTube channel released a video, and as you know, we cover all things AI, music, copyright, and how it integrates and how it affects your music career. So let's see what TankTheTech has to say.
AI has been a never-ending conversation in the music industry for the past couple of years now. And not just with artists and people that work at record labels, but also for the fans. And a lot of people are excited about what the prospects of using it could be. But other people are terrified of what this could lead to. And while we have had some really cool things come from AI when it comes to music, the secret formula will be mine soon enough. Lately, we've been seeing AI used for a lot more nefarious things. And now it seems entirely clear that it is way too easy to abuse the system with AI when it comes to music. We're at a point where people are uploading fake songs to real artist profiles on streaming services, which is something I want to dive into later in the video because it's way easier than it should be. But first, let's talk about something that has recently happened that is the first of its kind in terms of criminal cases. There's a man named Michael Smith from North Carolina in the US that has been accused of generating billions of fake streams using AI bots that he created.
Now, he's gonna summarize this nicely. I do the deep dives, and so we got the actual indictment, and we did the full review of basically what this guy did, how he did it, how he set up all of these different emails, and he had a whole system in his house where he was doing this scam for, well, if I remember correctly, it was from 2017. But anyway, part of my question was, he has generated $10 million in royalties from streaming. And for those of you who make royalties in streaming, $10 million, that's really hard to make. Anyway, so if you want the deep dive, you can check it out on this channel.
To listen to AI music that he also created. Now, while this is the first criminal case of its kind, stuff like this has happened before. Some of you may remember about 15, 20 years ago on MySpace when bands could upload their songs on their profiles. There were tons of bands out there that were using fake streams, whether it was bots or paying people to stream it, to boost their numbers to get more attention.
Well, no, and here's the thing. We're having it in the framework, and this was my problem. Like, look, this Michael the musician is making this so much more difficult because we're over here in lawyer land fighting with these music distributors who are claiming that artists and music producers are botting and scamming and fake playing, and therefore you guys are getting kicked out of your distributor accounts. These distributors are taking your royalties. It's a whole other issue. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, you have someone who really does come along and is laundering money. That's what this is. But TankTheTech certainly has a right when he says this is the first of its kind as far as the government now making an issue of it and actually indicting someone for criminal offenses.
Now, the difference with that is that bands weren't actually making money from the plays on their MySpace, so technically there was nothing illegal going on. But with this specific case with Michael Smith, all of it is illegal. Authorities claim that Smith had created over 100,000 different songs using AI technology and then using his own AI bots to accumulate fake streams across multiple different tracks to try and avoid getting caught. The United States Department of Justice claims that the scheme even got more complex after Smith teamed up with a CEO of an AI music company and a music promoter, and they exponentially increased the number of AI-generated songs that they were releasing.
So others are saying that the AI company is this company called Boomy. Now, here's the thing. The incorporation of the AI component didn't actually happen until later. Michael was actually just doing all this manually, but he started to purchase thousands of emails, and so he created a very robust system that was doing this over the course of many, many years. And then when AI, I think this was around 2018 when he started using AI, all of a sudden now he could generate hundreds of thousands of songs because before he had to go and license other people's music. And so AI allowed him to now shortcut in order to do this in such a large scale, because the way that he didn't get caught for so long is that he didn't have just one account getting hundreds of millions of streams, right? He had hundreds of thousands of songs all just doing kind of well across the board. So that's how it was working.
At the time he was finally caught, he made over $10 million in royalties, and now he's facing up to 20 years in prison for wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. And a lot of this was done just by exploiting loopholes in the music industry, because currently there are not enough safeguards in place to stop this from happening, because it is still relatively new in the grand scheme of things with all this AI music and AI bots when it comes to streaming. And I imagine that his defense in court will probably argue that. They will probably argue that technically he didn't do anything illegal. He was just exploiting the music industry as it already exists. But I highly doubt that that's going to hold up in court, but we'll see where this goes, because this could be a landmark decision that changes how the music industry online is going to work going forward.
Okay, so I do want to comment on that. So as far as criminality, we said wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. So those are crimes. It just so happens that those crimes are being committed in this kind of way, using a music distributor, using music platforms. And then on the other side, you have a breach of contract, right? We review the terms of service so that you guys understand what happens if you breach the contract with the distributor, because now you get caught, because now there's a claim of streaming fraud. And so if there's a breach of contract claim, you get booted out of your account, they take your royalties, even if they can't prove it. And even if they won't prove it. But do we think that the government's going to step in and be like, well, if you breach the contract with Symphonic, if you breach the contract with DistroKid, we're going to throw you in jail? No, I don't think so. I think that these still are going to be separate things. There's crimes that the government's very interested in preventing. And then there's the breach of contract issues. But let's keep going.
Now, even more recently, to go back to what I was bringing up at the beginning of the video, we've seen a huge influx of fake AI songs being uploaded under real bands and artists' profiles on streaming services. Right now, it's really hitting the metalcore industry very hard, which I didn't understand at first, but after thinking about it, I do get it now. But it's affecting bands like Alpha Wolf, Caliban, Fit for an Autopsy, The Devil Wears Prada, While She Sleeps, Memphis Mayfire, Era, and many, many others. All of these bands have had just weird singles pop up on their streaming services, and they've even had to announce to their fans like, hey, we don't know where this came from. This is not ours. And I've seen a lot of people talking about this online, and one of the big things that keeps getting asked is, why? Why is somebody putting their music on somebody else's page if they're trying to get heard or something like that? But that's not really the point, because these people are uploading AI songs to these profiles. It's not about getting exposure or anything like that. It's about the money. It's the same thing that Michael Smith was trying to do. Because of the way that distributors and publishing are set up, it doesn't matter what page or channel that song is on. It all matters on who owns the publishing to the music. So if somebody makes this AI song and it's connected to their publisher and their distributor, they're going to get the royalties from it when it's streamed, not the artist. And I'll use Electric Callboy. Absolute coincidence I'm wearing the shirt, I promise.
Well, real quick on that. If you just upload your music, and it totally depends on what deal you have, right? So if you have a deal with a, let's say, record label, the label owns your music, okay? Newsflash. You give your music to the label's going to distribute it for you. You get paid some kind of minimal royalty. They're recouping their expenses. You probably aren't getting a royalty for a long time. And so he's right that if someone else owns your music, they are the ones that are basically interfacing with the distributor and the music platforms. But going back to, all right, so it's funny because I deal with this in the inverse. You guys contact my law office because your, let's say, profile gets interlaced with someone else's profile who happens to, let's say, have a similar name or the same name as you, and so your releases get confused, and so we're having to just contact, Spotify, for example, and to, get the accounts figured out, and it's just all this unnecessary back and forth. So what he's saying is that some people are uploading music so that it would appear on someone else's profile. Now, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a bunch of new streams, but I guess the argument would be if you are, for example, on Taylor Swift's profile for like a day, she has enough traffic just maybe coming that they would see it, and so therefore there would be some catch-on traffic. So essentially usurping audience attention.
Electric Callboy and Baby Metal. They recently released a song together called Ratatata, and it had a 50-50 split. Now, that means that they're going to share 50-50 revenue on streaming services. And it doesn't matter whose page you listen to the song on.
Look at them all sharing contractual terms.
You can listen to it on Baby Metals. You can listen to it on Electric Callboys. But the publishing will still be split between the bands. Just because you listen to it on one channel doesn't mean that that band is going to make more money. So again, it just comes down to who owns the publishing on the song that's actually being streamed.
Right, so practically, if you upload music and you have featured artists or you have other main artists that are on the music, you just tell the distributor that there's another artist that's connected to it. So therefore, it shows up on all the applicable parties or artists, different profiles, right? But it still is the same upload. There's one distributor, so that's why and how administratively that works. But he did just mention publishing. So on the music platforms, this is actually having to do with the royalties for the masters, the final recorded versions. The publishing is a different thing. Publishing is going to be paid through, if you're in the United States, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. So these are different royalties paid through different platforms, but he's right to the general point, which is royalties that are paid related to the music are then going to be split. However, you allocated it when you uploaded the music with the distributor.
And I even wondered, well, if they're trying to make money, why not put it on a giant artist channel like Taylor Swift or something like that? It's just so they don't get noticed. Honestly, metalcore acts are substantially smaller than somebody like Taylor Swift. So by doing that, they're hoping their song stays up longer, flies under the radar, and doesn't get as much attention. But eventually, people will get caught and people will get in trouble. But that's going to bring us to the huge point here, and that's, how can this even happen in the first place? Why is this so easy, and why are there no safeguards in place? Caliban had released a statement saying that somebody with AI music used a dubious distributor to upload that music to their channel, making it sound like it was some dark web, black market, third-party distributor that, they had to search and find. But unfortunately, that doesn't always need to be the case. Recently on one of my Twitch streams, and if anybody out there wants to join, you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech for when I stream. Sorry, shameless plug. But recently on one of those streams, we were talking about this. And for some reason, while we were talking about this, in my brain, I was just like, could we just do this right now just to test it? And I did. And before I really tell you the story, I just want to say that if I would have went through with what I did and actually kept the song up and stuff, these actions are illegal, as we've already talked about in this video. So I do not condone anybody trying to do this or anything like that, because
well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know about illegal. Let's see what he's gonna do.
You will get caught and you will get in trouble. But I really...
You may get caught. You may get in trouble.
Really wanted to see how easy it was. What safeguards are in place to stop anybody from just uploading music on anybody's page? And to be honest, I was quite blown away by how easy it was to do, because I actually did it.
It said it did it. It said we're processing your music and uploading it to streaming platforms.
In under 10 minutes, I was able to sign up for a distributor service, and not one of these dubious distributors like Caliban claimed. This is a very reputable distributor for people that do a lot of independent music and upload stuff online that aren't on labels. I was able to sign up with all my information and everything, upload an AI generated song that one of our Discord members had made, and just pick anybody's profile. And just to play it safe, I did pick an artist that I knew personally, just in case anything weird happened.
Here's the thing. You guys know I'm an independent artist as well. So, I've had this experience. You go in, you type in your name, and it will auto-generate and say, this is what, this is the artist you mean, right? This is you. And he had said, well, there needs to be a safeguard in place. Well, the distributors are the safeguard. Here's the thing. We get up in arms over here because we go, it's so frustrating for artists that have to go through a distributor, because this distributor is a glorified bank. They stand in the way of getting to the music platforms. They require a fee. They're going to take some of your money. And then if they so choose, they can take down your music. They can kick you off the distribution platform, which removes your music from music platforms. But on the flip side, you go, well, why are distributors in place? And you go, well, it's because it's a safeguard, let's say, for music platforms. Because now you want to have quality control, right? There's requirements of the audio quality that needs to be uploaded, the size, right? So the pixels of the cover art that you're sending. So it's to ensure consistency and quality. But is there someone, and there should be, for any distributor out there, is there someone actually reviewing the music to ensure there aren't samples? Or is there someone reviewing the music to ensure that there aren't blatant violations of someone else's copyrights and trademarks? And the answer is yes. Distributors are supposed to be the safeguard. Music Attorney is your #1 legal resource for artists, producers, and record labels. Get contract templates, one-on-one legal advice, free masterclasses, and everything you need for your music business. Go to topmusicattorney.com.
And I uploaded the song, and I just chose their profile from a drop-down list. It was that easy. You just have to type in their name, and it came up on the actual portal on the distributor's website. Clicked it, uploaded it, and then just got a message immediately that said, hey, your song is uploaded. It'll be published in the next 5 to 7 days. And I had it set to a schedule so it didn't upload just automatically. And I was just blown away by how easy it was to do that. Now, when you are uploading the song, you do have to tick boxes that say, like, I claim that I am this artist, or I have permission to post on their page. But those are just little legal things that people that are trying to scam the system don't care about. There's no other actual safeguards in place. There was nothing that had to contact the artist. There was nothing that had to contact their publisher. It just let me do it. And then I actually called this artist just to give them a heads up of what I did, because I didn't want this to get crazy. And they actually immediately were like, can you please actually take that down? Like, please don't try and publish it, because what a lot of people don't realize is that that will actually mess up like release schedules and algorithms and stuff like that. So of course I did take it down, but again, it was just that easy. There needs to be more safeguards in place for stuff like this, because anybody could just upload to, even Taylor Swift's account if they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with what he's saying, but I will say that it is just that easy, and it has to be that easy, right? If we have millions and millions of independent artists who are trying to upload their music, what he had said is, well, there's, they're not doing a double check. They're not, let's say, calling to confirm. And so, from a fairness standpoint, what would that extra step look like? And again, trust me, I'm always on the other side of this when we're talking about music distributors. But, what they do is that they then have to handle these things administratively as soon as, for example, someone realizes that someone else has done this. But to his point, he goes, well, they're trying to usurp the system by not going after the artists that are so big, right? So we might go more middle tier, so no one notices for a little while. But here's the thing. There's information and metadata uploaded through the distributors every time you distribute music. So, these infringers are going to get caught. And it's not just with, I'm going to put my little AI song on someone else's profile and hope I get a couple streams, right? There's other types of infringement. There's just blatant copyright infringement of someone uploading someone else's song onto their profile, which we deal with, again, as a law office over here. Or literally pretending to be someone else and stealing someone else's trademarks. So, I just say that to mention the amount of legal issues that these music distributors are facing is really high volume. But it doesn't change on the flip side the incredible headache that artists and music producers have to go through who aren't doing any of this nonsense, and then get locked out of their accounts, and then get their royalties taken by the music distributor.
With all the things that we're seeing lately, and me personally realizing how easy it is to get away with this stuff, I've kind of changed my opinion on a lot of the AI stuff going on, man. At first, I thought it was just going to be harmless and used for fun and just making goofy songs with like plankton voices singing metalcore and stuff. But it seems like without any protections in place, this could get out of hand very fast. And I do expect, especially with the case with Michael Smith, I expect to see some changes in the laws and in the legislature about how this stuff is going to work in the future. Because, if so many people are starting to do it, what's to stop everybody from just doing this at some point?
All right. So yeah, what we're really talking about here is trademark infringement. If you are uploading a song and you put it onto someone else's profile pretending to be that person, that is trademark infringement. So what I could say is that if anyone's concerned about this, the way that you protect yourself is you get your trademark. Because here's the thing. If someone comes and puts a song on your profile, and here's the beauty. If you have copyright registrations for your music, if you have a trademark registration for your name, these platforms are set up to move very, very fast to get the infringing stuff removed, deleted. We get profiles, complete profiles off of Facebook and Instagram deleted within hours, so long as our clients have the registrations, right? So look, I'm so glad that I ran across TankTheTech. TankTheTech, great video. I look forward to checking out more of your content. Guys, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Top Music Attorney.